Ex-AEW star Ricky Starks reveals his new WWE in-ring name is Ricky Saints, with his first match set for next week. TNA X Division champion Moose appears on NXT last night and confronts NXT champion Obafemi. The Hardy Boys, now the TNA World Tag Team Champions, are set to return to WWE in a match on NXT next week. Jordynne Grace competes in the main event in her first night as an NXT superstar. Robert Stone is attacked by the mystery group on NXT. Carmen Petrovic is the number one contender for the Women's North American Championship. Plus, we have the ratings for Friday's episode of SmackDown on USA Network. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with Ricky Starks. Now, Ricky Starks officially put pen to paper during WWE NXT, revealing he'll be known henceforth as Ricky Saints. Starks made his surprise debut last Tuesday, addressing the NXT crowd ahead of last weekend's Vengeance Day event. He wasn't active during the event, but made it clear he was keeping an eye on proceedings. He was appearing this week to officially sign up with the brand, joining general manager Ava in the ring to stake his claim as the best and talk of the NXT Championship. They were joined by Ethan Page, and All Ego said that Starks would have a hard time bettering what he had done since joining NXT, prompting Starks to mockingly congratulate Page on his victory over Javon Evans at Vengeance Day. Evans then emerged from behind Page to blindside him, their fight taking them through the crowd and once again leaving Starks and Ava in the ring. Ava urged him to sign the contract, only for Wes Lee to emerge and lay into Starks verbally, demanding he be the first one to face him when he signs his contract. Starks signed the contract after clearing Lee from the ring, and the camera showed his new ring name to close the segment. He would later appear in a backstage segment with Ava, once again interrupted by Page and joined by Lee and Evans. Ava sought to end the four's arguing by booking a tag match pitting Evans and Starks against Page and Lee next week. The wrestler, now formerly known as Ricky Starks, debuted last week, just a day after it had emerged he had left AEW, ending his 5-year stint with the company. Next week's match is due to be the first televised bout since AEW Collision on March 30th of last year. Now, the crossover between WWE, NXT and TNA wrestling continues. NXT champion Obafemi was looking for answers on Tuesday after being attacked by NXT's newest mystery faction at Vengeance Day, but instead he was confronted by TNA X Division champion Moose. Femi opened up the show by storming down to the ring to call out the faction, led by Dion Lennox, who left him laying on Saturday, but Moose's music hit instead. Moose said he was sorry to burst the bubble Femi had been living in, because he is the only man Femi can't rule over. Femi said that was Moose's problem, because in NXT he is inevitable. Moose replied that a match between the pair has to happen, and Femi told him not to worry, because it will. The opening segment ended with both men raising their titles in the middle of the ring. The X Division champion is the latest star to appear on the opposite promotion in TNA and NXT's multi-year partnership that was announced in January. Most recently, TNA World Heavyweight Champion Joe Hendry made an appearance in the men's Royal Rumble match. Former TNA Knockouts World Champion Jordynne Grace signed a WWE deal following the expiration of her TNA contract and is appearing in NXT as well after wrestling on the brand multiple times during her time with TNA. Now, when it comes to Moose, his continuation of the NXT brand has been confirmed as well. Next week marks a homecoming for NXT Heritage Cup champion Lexis King as NXT heads to Cincinnati, Ohio. It will also mark an opportunity to become a double champion. During last night's episode of NXT, King came face-to-face with TNA X Division champion Moose, noting his distrust in the way TNA talent, such as JDC, are seeking NXT title shot lately. In response, Moose informed King that if he wanted a shot at his TNA gold, all he had to do was ask. As such, Moose confirmed that he will defend his X Division championship against King next week on NXT. In doing so, Moose vowed to destroy King as well. Should King defeat Moose, he would secure his second championship in 2 months, as his Heritage Cup reign began with a victory over Charlie Dempsey in December. If Moose retains, he could look ahead to an in-ring face-off of NXT champion Obafemi, with whom he confronted at the beginning of the show. Now, we're also getting more TNA and NXT crossover next week. The Hardy Boys are coming back to WWE. The WWE, NXT and TNA multi-year partnership is still going strong, and an NXT tag team called out the legendary team on Tuesday night for a match next week. No Quarter Catch crew's Tavon Heights and Miles Bourne called out current TNA World Tag Team Champions Matt and Jeff Hardy in a backstage segment. Sarah Schreiber was interviewing NXT Tag Team Champions Nathan Frazer and Axiom after their successful title defense but subsequent beatdown at Vengeance Day on Saturday when Bourne and Heights interrupted. Frazer thought they were going to ask for a shot at their titles, but the No Quarter Catch crew said they wanted to face the best tag team in the world, possibly of all time. Heights called out the Hardy Boys, and Bourne said they wanted to make it happen next week when NXT is on the road in Cincinnati, Ohio. Matt Hardy dropped a video response on X alongside his brother and said he was surprised to tune into NXT and hear they were being challenged to a match, but said he was flattered. Jeff said they were going to accept the challenge. The brothers told Fraxium to pull up a front row seat next week to watch. Bourne and Heights' last televised victory was in December last year. They were defeated by Fraxium in a title match the next week on NXT and have yet to get back on a win streak. Three-time TNA World Tag Team Champions, the Hardys, have held the titles in TNA since Bound for Glory last October. Now, Jordynne Grace is officially a WWE NXT superstar, and she showed a strong showing during her first night as an NXT wrestler on February 18th. Jordynne Grace started her first official night as an NXT superstar by helping Julia and Stephanie Vacqua thwart Fatal Influence's Jasmine Nix, Jacy Jayne, and Fallon Henley after they had attacked Carmen Petrovic when she became the new #1 contender for the NXT Women's North American Championship. A match was quickly made for later in the evening. Grace teamed up with Stephanie Vacqua and the current NXT Women's North American champion, and Julia, the current NXT Women's champion. Grace ended up getting the pinfall in the match on Jasmine Nix. When it was over, all three women celebrated, Julia and Vacqua seemingly eyeing each other's championship bouts, and Grace sizing up both of her potential future opponents. Grace made her official debut under the WWE banner as part of the 2025 Women's Royal Rumble match. She officially joined NXT at the WWE NXT Vengeance Day PLE. She had previously appeared as part of the 2024 Women's Royal Rumble match and challenged for the NXT Women's Championship at NXT Heatwave 2024. She was also part of NXT 2300 at the former ECW arena last year in Philadelphia. Now, we spoke earlier on about the mystery group that debuted at Vengeance Day, and it continues to make a statement. The mystery group, consisting of Cutler James, Dion Lennox, Saquon Sugars, and Osiris Griffin, debuted at NXT Vengeance Day and attacked NXT Tag Team Champions Nathan Frazer and Axiom, Josh Briggs, and Yoshiki Inamura. The stable also attacked NXT Champion Oba Femi. On the February 18th episode of WWE NXT, the group seemingly took out multiple members of the tag team division, though they were not shown. At the end of the show, NXT General Manager Ava entered her office, which had been left in ruins, and found Robert Stone, who had been laid out by the stable. The message, "No one is safe," was written on the wall. The episode ended with Ava crouching over Stone, who was unresponsive. Of course, if we get any more details on the developments of this storyline, we'll let you know in a future video. We touched on this earlier on. There is a new #1 contender for the Women's North American Championship. At NXT Vengeance Day, Stephanie Vacqua defeated Fallon Henley to claim the NXT Women's North American Championship. 3 days later, she now has her first challenger in sight. Jada Parker, Carmen Petrovic, and Kalani Jordan battled in last night's NXT opening match with a future Women's North American Championship title shot on the line. At one point, Parker appeared to be closing in on a victory by nailing Jordan with a corner springboard seated senton. When she turned away to gloat, however, Ashanti the Adonis rolled Petrovic back into the ring, allowing her to gain the pinfall on Jordan. The action didn't stop there, though. Following Petrovic's win, the personal animosity between Jordan and Parker continued with a ringside brawl. Meanwhile, the trio of Fallon Henley, Jasmine Nix, and Jacy Jayne launched a post-match attack on Petrovic and Adonis, with Jayne slamming a chair into the spine of the latter. When Fatal Influence then mocked Petrovic, Vacqua and NXT Women's Champion Julia made their way down to the ring only to suffer the same fate. Seeing this, WWE's newest female signee, Jordynne Grace, charged down to help Julia and Vacqua fend off the trio, after which she issued a challenge to a 3-on-3 fight, which took place later on in the evening. And finally, we have the ratings for Friday's edition of SmackDown on USA Network. Love wasn't exactly in the air on Valentine's Day for the WWE superstars who appeared on the February 14th episode of SmackDown, as the company's Blue brand took their next steps towards the Elimination Chamber Premium Live event in Toronto, Ontario, Canada on March 1st. Damian Priest and Naomi earned their spots in their respective Elimination Chamber matches. LA Knight picked up a hard-fought victory over The Miz, and Tiffany Stratton made another successful defense of her WWE Women's Championship against Nia Jax, albeit via disqualification. Despite all of this action, SmackDown had one of its weakest performances of the year so far when it comes to television ratings. According to the Programming Insider and WrestleNomics, the February 14th episode averaged a total of 1.384 million viewers, an 8% drop from the previous week, a 7% drop compared to the trailing full-week average of 1.486 million viewers, and is the lowest average viewership since the December 2024 episode. This marks only the third time the show has dropped below the 1.4 million mark since moving back to the USA Network in September of 2024. There was an even bigger drop in the 18 to 49 demographic as the show posted a 0.42 number, a 12% drop from the February 7th episode and 9% lower than the trailing full-week average of a 0.46. On top of this drop, SmackDown was unable to take first place for the night across network and cable primetime telecasts, as that position went to the NBA All-Star Celebrity Game coverage on TNT, which topped the night for both network and cable telecasts, leaving SmackDown in second place. However, there was one victory for WWE, as SmackDown did win the night in the 25 to 54 demographic, with the NBA All-Star coverage having to settle for second place on that front. But there you go, guys, the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.